Welcome to today's live stream or replay if you are watching this on the replay. This is Tim David, and I am your packaging and positioning magician for speakers who want to earn five-figure checks per speech in the corporate market. Now, I have been saying I'm the packaging and promotional magician, and I have switched it to packaging and positioning magician because here's the thing. Meeting professional after meeting professional after meeting professional have told me that the type of promotion that they want to receive from speakers has much more to do with being positioned alongside them as a peer and not chasing them like a pest. So be a peer, not a pest. We've talked about that before, but that word positioning, so much better than promotioning, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so I'm thinking about what to say today, and I said, you know what? I don't know what to talk about. Let me go ahead and just make myself another coffee, and maybe it'll come to me, right? The good old dose of caffeine. But it wasn't the caffeine that I needed. It was actually the mug itself right there, service above self. This is a mug that I received while speaking at a Rotary Club, and then boom, it hit me. Why don't I tell the story of how I grew my speaking business from scratch by doing free speeches? Now, many of you have probably heard that before, right? My story's well documented, and you have seen me or heard me talk about my zero to hero process and the contrast between doing this right and doing this wrong. And many of you say to me, you know, Tim, I tried that. I tried doing a bunch of free speeches. And then when I unpack, and it didn't work, right? But then I unpack it and I find out why it didn't work. And I have decided to reveal, perhaps even for the first time here live on Facebook and YouTube and StreamYard and all the other places this is distributing to, including GetSpeakingGigs.com. If you click on articles and rants, this is going to be a rant, all right? So let me first go ahead and tell you the story of what happened to me. I decided that I wanted to stop being a magician and I wanted to start being a speaker, or rather, I wanted to add speaking services because I needed to get paid more and work less because I had kids coming. So the old baby motivator, right? So I had a baby on the way and I really needed to make a change, and it took me a couple of years to really figure this out and really go for it. But I finally got serious when the second baby was on the way 2 years later, and I realized I hadn't made much progress. Is that you? Have you decided a long time ago that you wanted to be a speaker, but you haven't made much progress? Maybe weeks, months, or years have even gone by. I will tell you this, it's not too late, but stop the wait, right? Stop waiting and make it happen. So here's what happened for me. The second baby's on the way. I'm like, we got to get serious. I talked to people, how do I do this? And they said, just speak for free. Speak for free. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I became a free speaking whore. I was like, get me the free speeches. It wasn't show me the money. It was show me the audiences. Take me to the back room of a restaurant so I can speak to 4 elderly people at a Rotary Club. I don't care. Show me the stages. And I hired somebody, and their entire job was to contact all of the Rotary Clubs within a 3-hour driving distance of my home. I was willing to do this. There were some other clubs as well, Kiwanis and other things like that. But this person ended up booking me 48 programs. I hired him for a month. Just do that. I was working on my book. Just go ahead, because that was the other thing. They said, write a book. So 48. And then here's the problem. I started doing these free gigs. 1, 2, 3, 4. No results, no response, no paid gigs. And it took me a while to figure this out, to figure out what I was doing wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you what I did wrong, but also what I see most speakers do wrong when they take their free gigs and they try to turn them into paid gigs. First mistake, the first reason why your free gigs are not turning into paid gigs is this: poor topic selection. This is an absolute deal breaker. Now, I'll tell you this. If you want to be a speaker and you want to get some free gigs, it's easy to do that. There are people who need speakers Even during COVID, they needed virtual speakers. There is always going to be a need for someone who's willing to speak for free. Couple of reasons. Number one, people are afraid of public speaking. When offered who wants to be the speaker, most people go like this. And if you step forward, boom, you have yourself a speaking opportunity. Two, there are many events that need to be filled and not enough speakers to do them. And this is just the truth of the matter. This is why there are still bad speakers out there who are working, because there is an abundance of opportunity and business out there, particularly for speakers who are willing to speak for free. So that's the first reason, poor topic selection. Okay, because again, plenty of opportunity, plenty of people are going to say, yeah, that topic sounds great. Come on in, baby, speak for us. But when it comes time to ask them for money for that topic, they go, no. We just wanted you to do this free thing for us. In fact, let me refer to you 6 other people who will hire you for free. Let me pass you around the circuit. So that's the first reason, poor topic selection, something that they will accept as a free speech, but will not invest in as a paid speech. And if you don't know what topics people are booking, educate yourself on that. Do not try to invent a new topic. Yes, follow your passion, but also position that passion or find out where that passion overlaps the places where they're paying, right? You've got to have those two things working for you if you're going to get paid gigs from your free gigs. So choose the right topic. Next, poor message packaging. Now, what I mean by message packaging, you could have a great topic that people want, but you also need to say something of value. So that message needs to be have a hook or an angle or a unique sort of somewhat unique approach to and be packaged in such a way where people think, you have something to bring to the table. I want you to come and tell our people that, and I'll pay you. So in other words, you have something to say about the topic. All right. So let's say your topic is leadership. You have a message. For example, my topic is leadership, and my audience is leadership. That's the thing that they buy is leadership. But my area of expertise is human connection and influence. So I say, where does human connection and influence overlap leadership? That's where I package my message. All right. So that is my message for leaders. Guess what? If I'm in front of a group of salespeople, my message is packaged for salespeople. Where does my topic expertise, my area of expertise, overlap with what salespeople want to know? So package the messaging in a way. Now, the reason I say message packaging, because it isn't, and this is the truth, guys, this is the truth. Please hear me on this. It isn't necessarily the content of your content. It isn't the nuts and bolts of what it is that you're teaching them, but it's also how that message is presented and packaged. You have probably seen speakers, and if you really break down their message, it's something people have been teaching for thousands of years. It's nothing new, it's nothing unique, but they have a sort of spin on it. They have their own personal touch, their own story, their own way of explaining it that makes it unique. We call that message packaging. So poor message packaging, not delivering something that people recognize as valuable insight to the topic that they want. Okay, so topic that they want, valuable solution or insight towards fixing those problems and challenges within that topic, right? Get those two things nailed down. You are way ahead of most of the speakers out there in the game. Next, so we got poor topic selection, poor message packaging, and I'm sorry, that one requires a little bit of explanation. And third, poor delivery. Now, this one is not as big a deal. It's not as big a deal. You can be a bad speaker with a great topic and a great packaging of your message and still get paid gigs. You do not have to be the world's best speaker. It's nice. It's nice to be a great speaker. But if you are a good enough speaker, if you can communicate, legibly, audibly, clearly, that's really what you need to do. You need to get the message across. If you have a great topic and great message packaging, but can't get the message across, and listen, it's not the ums and the ahs that are going to prevent you from getting a message across. It is not the body language that you stand on stage or the water bottle that you step on that is going to prevent you from getting a message across. You see, I just did something, I didn't even do that on purpose, but it's a perfect teachable moment. If you trip on stage, if you step on something, if you fall over your words, if your slides break, no big deal, right? It is one of those things your audience wants you to succeed, and they have maybe even been in that situation, and they feel for you, and it creates more of an authentic connection. So in the age of authenticity, being an authentic speaker and showing your humanity versus your perfection might even be a benefit. So when I say poor delivery can cost you gigs, it's like really, really, really bad delivery that kind of ruins the whole message, okay? All right, next. Poor system or no system at all. Now, this is the difference maker, or was the difference maker for me. Because again, I had done, I think it was like 9 free gigs before I booked one single gig. And every single gig, I was trying to figure out, why aren't people booking me? Why aren't people, I'm following up, I'm doing what I need to do. Why aren't people booking me? It's because I had a poor system. I didn't know what to do before the gig, during the gig, and after the gig. Every single gig, I didn't know the steps to take to physically, proactively, intentionally, purposefully turn that free gig into a paid gig. It don't happen automatically. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you do some of the things that I talk about in my system, which is 39 different things, from the evaluation form on steroids to the scripting changes to the bookend slides to all kinds of different techniques and strategies that I use to turn every gig. And I've developed that system over, I don't know how many dozens of presentations. Even my paid presentations, I will use elements of this system in order to turn that gig into more gigs. So if you have a free gig coming up, you better maximize that gig. You better leverage that gig. You better take that opportunity for what it is and do everything you can to turn that gig into more gigs and be proactive about it and not reactive, and not just hope, not just pass out business cards or even collect business cards. Listen, you've got to have a suite of action items, a system working together to make sure you maximize every opportunity. So if you have a poor system or no system, right? You don't have to have 39 things like I do, right? You know, you can have 6 that work really, really well for you, and that's better than no system. So poor system or no system, reason number 4 why your gigs aren't turning into paid gigs. Your free gigs aren't turning into paid gigs. Next, let's say you do a free gig and then someone reaches out to you and they say, we want to hire you as a speaker. And now you're like this, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get on the phone. I got to talk to this person. And this is where you blow it. You have, number 5, poor sales conversations. Poor sales conversations. You know how to deliver your speech. It was great and it engaged the audience. You got high fives and handshakes. You got business cards, and this person even reached out to you and they wanted to bring you in for their event. You know how to speak, but you don't know how to speak about what you speak about. You don't know how to demonstrate the value of what you speak about. You don't know how to charge for it. You don't know how to create programs and packages and proposals and offers. You don't know how to engage that sales process in a way that is smooth as silk for that person to just simply raise their hand and say, I'm interested, and move from one stage to the other and ultimately closing a paid gig. There is an part art, part science to this, right? There is certainly a relationship component. There's certainly a lot of pieces and ways that this can go wrong. So if you have a poor sales system or sales strategy or poor sales conversations, and that includes packaging and pricing and all of the things, all of the components of the sales piece, you could get all the leads in the world. You could be pouring all kinds of water into your lead bucket, pouring all kinds of leads in, but they're just falling out through all these holes that you have in your sales process. So if you're doing lots of free gigs, even if you're having conversations with people, but not closing them, maybe, just maybe, your problem is poor sales systems, poor sales conversations, poor pricing, etc., etc. And then finally, and this is another takeaway just from my own experience, many of my coaching clients go through this process. They want to replicate it. They want to say, I want to do what you do. I want these 5-figure checks in the corporate market. And the best way to get speaking gigs is to be seen speaking, to get referrals, to have word of mouth working in your favor. And you've just got to get out there. I've said this over and over again. So when people start getting out there, my coaching clients, we work on all this stuff. We put together their topic selection. We workshop it with them. We evaluate it. We look at their messaging and their message packaging and how they deliver and how they package and position their message, even if it's something that is ancient, an old message. They try to reword it, repackage it, reframe it. Deliver it in such a way where it feels new and fresh and exciting, and people can latch onto it now in 2021. Maybe we work on their delivery a little bit. I have this new program called Your Signature Speech, and it helps people develop their speech and a little bit with their delivery as well. But again, that's not a major dial turner. As long as you are decent, you don't have to be phenomenal on stage. As long as you're decent, you can get paid gigs, right? There are a lot of speakers out there getting big checks who are terrible speakers. Okay, we work on them with their systems, right? This 39-point system, we work on them. We work with them on their system. And they get to the point, we even work with their sales conversation. Somebody reaches out to them and they say, oh my gosh, Tim, quick, I have a lead. What do I do? And we go through the process. I hold their hand. It's really, really simple, really straightforward. But here's the problem with some of them. They quit too soon. Reason number 6, even if you have all of these things in place, it might take 9, 10, 11 free gigs before the momentum kicks in, before the system gets really dialed in, before you find that right person in that right audience who knows the right friend, who has the right colleague to connect the dots for a paid gig. Now, that may take time. That usually does take a little bit of time. And sometimes you get lucky right out of the gate. Sometimes you have sales conversations. Gosh, if you do this stuff right, sometimes you have sales conversations even before you have to get out there and do free gigs. The point is this: do not quit too soon. I committed. I'm going to do 50 of these. I made it to 48, right? I'm going to do 50 of these. I got 48 of them. Went out there and did it. And that was really it. My business has been off to the races ever since. I have been able to leverage those free gigs into the speaker that you see now. Maybe not this speaker in a ratty t-shirt and Get Speaking Gigs hat. But maybe, if you go to timdavidspeaks.com, you'll see some of the notches in the belt that has led to. So I encourage you, fix these holes. Don't say doing free speeches doesn't work. You're right. It doesn't work if these problems are preventing it from working. However, it also can work and does work if you do it the right way. Okay, questions, comments, concerns. What questions would you ask a professional speaker if you had the ear of a professional speaker? What live stream videos would you like me to do next? Listen, I want to talk a little bit about tomorrow, and I want to talk about things moving forward. I've been doing these daily live streams Monday through Friday. I'm switching Friday from a learning day to a doing day. Yes, it's important to learn and pour in and grab these strategies and take action on them and all that other stuff. Learning is great, but once again, taking action, that's the real important piece. So every Friday, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time, we're doing a free, just open work session, a focused work session where we get on Zoom. We have our implementation group, sort of our small group, mastermind group, coaching group, and you're going to be able to sit in as we talk about what we're going to work on. And then we'll work together. I'll be on mute, you'll be on mute, and we'll be focused, but we'll be doing work together. And mysterious, magical things happen when you put an hour of focused, dedicated work maybe a little bit of brainstorming, maybe a little bit of listening into, how successful speakers are doing it. But I invite you to come on by on Friday. And if you're on the Get Speaking Gigs email list, and if you're not, getspeakinggigs.com, request some of the free stuff. You'll get on the email list that way. Type in your name and your email address somewhere on getspeakinggigs.com, and you'll get an invite to our Friday sessions. In addition to our Friday sessions, you have lasted this long in this video, I'm going to tip my hand and let you know that I have been behind the scenes working on a new coaching program, small group coaching program, not a one-on-one coaching program, because people have told me out of my budget, I'm not ready, it's too expensive, and that's fine. So a group coaching program laser focused on the number one question that I've been getting: how do I pick a topic and package my message in such a way where corporate audiences will pay me 5 figures? So once again, Packaging and Positioning Magician is going to put together a packaging and positioning group coaching program where we get together, and it's going to be a multi-week, multi-session program where we talk about your topic. We do a topic evaluation where everybody shares what their topic is, and then we hold it up to the light. We look for the cracks, we tweak it, we change it, we alter it if necessary, and give you the feedback that you need. And then on down the list, we talk about how to develop a message for that topic, how to title a speech, how to create what we call a package for a speech, how to package the speech and talk about the speech, because even if you can speak about a topic, you must be able to speak about what you speak about in a way that's clear and concise and makes corporate audiences go, we need that, we want it yesterday. So if that is of interest to you, and thank you for staying on so long here, go ahead and pop a comment below just to say, sounds interesting. Tell me more. I won't spam you. I won't even probably reach out to you, but I'm just curious myself if this is going to be worth pursuing. And from the questions that I've been getting, I really believe it is. So that is it for me today. We'll see you tomorrow, not for a live stream, but rather for a live work focus session. And for now, we'll speak soon.